If the election were to be held tomorrow, how many in here, right now, would vote for the senator from California, Alan Cranston? Oh, my God. Do you know that's the best he's done? I mean, yeah. In 1980, John Glenn was reelected to the Senate with a whopping 70% of the vote. He was famous, he was a military hero, an obvious favorite for the 1984 Democratic presidential nomination because John Glenn had the right stuff. So, of course, the Democrats went on to nominate Walter Mondale and to lose their 6th of the last 9 presidential elections. There's a word for that: dependability. Follow us now through 1984, the election year of Where's the Beef and Geraldine Ferraro, as Gary Hart tries out a brand new slogan, I have new ideas. In case you've forgotten the ending, it's not going to be close. Someone will carry 49 states. A word of warning, some of these scenes will not be pretty. You might want any Democrats watching to leave the room. Thank you. Good evening. All right, first things first, back to basics, the difference between a Democrat and a Republican, all right? A Republican says, we are in a recovery. And a Democrat says, but you shouldn't enjoy it. Right? If a Republican wants to pull out of Lebanon, it's called redeployment. If a Democrat wants to pull out of Lebanon, it's called treason. That's why when Reagan decided to redeploy, he called Tip O'Neill on the phone and says, congratulations, you're not a traitor anymore. All right. Today, the Supreme Court, monumental Supreme Court decision, they voted against the unions on that bankruptcy ruling, and the unions would fight it, except they're out of money. They gave it all to Mondale. Well, Mondale, today then. Okay, now where are we? Mondale won in Iowa, then he went to New Hampshire. First thing he did was he telephoned the AFL-CIO. He said, hi, it's me again. I'd like to order a landslide to go. Well, you see, now John Glenn, bit of a setback. Glenn, to his credit, remains cheery. He maintains a sunny disposition, reminding us of the significance of his monumental victory over Ernest Hollings. Really means something. Now, in the early days of the American labor movement, my friends, they got what they wanted by the sweat of their brow. Today, they rub a lamp and Mondale pops out and grants them 3 wishes. So I think it's safe to say that as of right now, Mondale will carry New York, he will carry Massachusetts, and he will carry Lane Kirkland's luggage. Now, this little debate, this bickering between Mondale and Glenn is very nasty. The last thing Glenn accused Mondale of promising an ambassadorship to everybody in the Minneapolis telephone book. They were arguing about the environment. You know, Mondale accused Glenn of spending the weekend clubbing seals with James Watt, and so it's getting very, very nasty. Very nasty. In the debate, Jesse Jackson unveiled his new self. So you have 2 Jesse Jacksons, what I call the Wall Street Jesse, and then you have the other Jesse. Now, the Wall Street Jesse is the one we saw at the debate. And he would say, we must be conciliatory vis-a-vis our adversaries. Oh, yeah. It's Wall Street. And you have the other Jesse who says, mine eyes have seen the glory from the outhouse to the White House. Yeah. Well, you remember at the end of the year when Jesse Jackson got that Navy lieutenant out of Syria? He was on a roll. I wouldn't have been surprised that week if he had talked Gaddafi into becoming a Baptist. Now, the only way Jackson can top getting Lieutenant Goodman out of Syria is getting President Reagan out of Washington. We have your names. But so many things are happening. The American people have short memories, and so Jackson has to keep reminding us about his triumph the end of last year. And for the rest of this year, he's going to have to drop subtle reminders of what he did. Sure, he's going to have to say things like, in my Rainbow Coalition, I will reorder all priorities for all Americans. The shop clerks, the farmers, the Navy lieutenants. Let us not forget the needy and oppressed. Let us not forget the moral responsibility of government. Let us not forget what I did last New Year's Eve. Jesse, he went to Damascus, whoop, for the glory that he soon would win. He was grabbing all the headlines while Mondale grabbed his luggage in the East Poughkeepsie Hilton Inn. Lord, Lord, the East Poughkeepsie Hilton Inn, yeah. The sign out in front of the East Poughkeepsie Hilton Inn said, today's special veal cutlet, $6.95, and welcome Walter Mondale. Jesse, he brought back that flyer. Even Reagan spoke in his behalf. He was standing in the White House while Glenn stood in the men's room of the Waco, Texas Weekly Staff. Lord, Lord, the Waco, Texas Weekly Staff. Small newspaper in Texas, circulation 32. If you count that new litter of pigs born over at the Beeswell place. Jesse accomplished his mission. Even Reagan spoke in his behalf. He was on the major networks while Cranston in New Hampshire was not recognized by his own staff. Lord, Lord, he wasn't recognized by his own staff. It was frustrating. Cranston's own Secret Service man kept telling him to move on. So Gary Hart has come a long way since the last show. He's new on the seat, he's young, he's mud. He's new, kind of wow, kind of now, kind of future kind of guy. He's Jerry Brown without the fruit flies is who he is. Yeah, thank you. They took a survey the other day. Gary Hart is very strong with people whose children are in Montessori schools. A lot of people don't know that, but new idea. What is a new idea? We haven't had a new idea in Washington, and I don't know when. What is a new idea? Would he give the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Alger Hiss? That is a new idea. Would he create a 13th month during which time all federal employees must work for nothing? That is a new idea. Candidate of the future? Would his inaugural address contain the two words floppy disk? Of course. Is he in favor of school prayers to Zeus? These are new ideas I haven't heard about. Now, to give you an idea how the candidates differ, do you remember about a month ago when a Russian submarine collided with one of our aircraft carriers off the coast of Japan? When that happened, I visualized the media going to each of the candidates asking them what they would do if they were sitting in the White House that day of crisis when a Russian submarine collides with one of our carriers. So they go to Gary Hart, and they say, what would you do? And Hart said, I'd look in the window of the sub. And if they were wearing uniform, then they go, and if he sees a shadow, then they go, remember that, another joke. Then they go to Walter Mondale. Mondale said, well, I don't know what I do, but I've been in that White House, and I know what I'm doing. He always says that. Always says that. Then they go to Jesse Jackson, and Jackson say, not meaning to demean any Russian submarine, I'd sneak a note aboard that boat and register the crew to vote. Yeah. The poetry. Then they go to Ronald Reagan. Reagan would say, "What time is it? Wake me up in the morning."